laptop. I have no choice. Hello. We are once again live while I'm running my mouth. Thank you so much for joining us on the Passive Wealth Show. Have you ever wondered in your business how TV advertising, local radio, maybe live stream can help your business? Well, we've got a great guest that's going to go over kind of the results that he's getting right after this. Thanks once again for joining us on the Passive Wealth Show. I'm tongue-tied once again because I've been running my mouth all week. I'm currently live at the CG meeting in Scottsdale. Jonathan is over here to our right. Wendy is down there at the bottom. Doesn't mean she's at the bottom. She just happens to be sitting there.
You probably need to do those voice exercises. Watermelon,
Bill,
watermelon.
I'm not going to use that phrase. Don't even mention it.
Are you in the men's restroom?
Yes.
What are those doors behind you?
It
looks like a stall.
That's the door to the urinal. So we are Carolina Capital Management. We make loans to real estate investors in the Southeast. If you're a borrower interested in borrowing money, go to carolinahardmoney.com and click on the Apply Now tab. If you're a passive investor looking for passive returns, click on the Accredited Investor tab. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, all that wonderful stuff. So I have to ask, what's been going on since I've been gone? Anything interesting?
Every day is interesting. We've been, closing loans and
we're closing a
stuff.
Multifamily, 56 unit tomorrow. So
that doesn't suck.
Excellent.
Yeah,
all right. Well,
good stuff.
Let's get right to our guest.
And all your beer has gone out of the refrigerator, just to let you know.
What?
I'm just kidding.
You guys have been partying since.
We wish.
So our next guest, Tony Javier, he's doing a remarkable job with kind of having people self-select whether they want to do business with you, utilizing TV, I believe a little radio and podcasts as well. And it's Tony, I'm not doing a very good job of introducing you. But welcome to the show. It looks like you're doing an awesome job out there.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I've never been interviewed by someone in a men's restroom, so this is a first for me.
There's a first for everything. And you know what I think is really cool, Tony, is we've been running around. This investor world's so small, and we run in the same circles, but we haven't really gotten to meet face to face. We have Zoom wise, but not, in real life. So it's really, really good to have you here. I was, mentioning earlier how much I enjoyed watching your podcast, and it's Real Estate Masters. Is that what it's called?
Yep. Real Estate Masters podcast.
Yeah, it is really good. You've got some great people on there. Some really good friends of mine and people I've never heard of. And all of it was really, really good. I'm very impressed with it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we were in the same mastermind 6 years ago together. We never officially got to meet, but I heard a lot about you, and I think that's kind of how we connected, was eventually through that.
That's right. That's cool. We're really glad to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. You guys are a lot of fun so far.
Well, there's more to come.
So sorry, I know.
What markets are you in right now?
Well, I live in San Diego, but my market is in Wichita, Kansas. That's where my real estate business is. I have co-working space there. I have a flipping operation and a rental business. And then I've got people all over the country doing TV that we've helped. We're helping on TV. So we were in 30 some markets on TV around the country.
Wow. That's impressive.
That's amazing.
I have to say one thing. You're in San Diego and your business is in Wichita. Does it blow your mind, the differences in prices?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, my concept of money is totally different. In Wichita, Kansas, you can buy a house for 150,000, 200,000 gets you a lot. 250,000 gets you a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car garage, pool
Wow.
with a nice yard.
Wow.
In San Diego, you can buy a 1-car garage for 250,000. So it's dramatically different. You can buy, like I can actually buy 10 houses in Wichita for what I would buy one in San Diego.
But that's the beauty of investing in those areas where the home values aren't going to increase and decrease. They're not that volatile, and it's a great rental market. You're not necessarily looking for that cherry on top of the appreciation, but you get great cash flow from those types of properties. And the price of admission is so low, you get to diversify your risk.
Yep. Yeah, we buy properties as low as $10,000. I would say, I haven't done the number on this, but I would say our average purchase price is probably around 70,000.
Wow.
And our average ARV, 120, 130. So lots of different exit strategies. I don't do a lot of wholesaling, but we can wholesale, we can flip, we can rent those properties. Like you said, cash flow. It's a great place to park your money for cash flow. If you're talking about passive income, I have a lot of people that from California and things like that will call our office and say, hey, do you have any properties that you're looking to sell? And, we keep a lot of our rentals, and we don't typically sell our properties to landlords, but every once in a while we'll, throw a landlord, someone who wants to invest in real estate passively, a property or so. But, this last year, even small markets like Wichita, Kansas have appreciated over 10%, which is totally unheard of. So it's kind of interesting what's going on in the market now. We're typically 3 to 4, maybe 5% in good year, types of appreciation. And even in the down years, it's like -1%, right? So it's not super volatile. But yeah, this last year we went up 12%, which is insane for the Midwest.
Wow.
What made you pick that Kansas City area? I mean, what was it that took you in that direction?
That's where I was born and raised. Raised for spent 35 years there. So that's went to college there. That's actually how I started when I started my real estate investing career was in college at 21. Bought the no down payment system by Carlton Sheets. You guys have probably heard of that.
Yeah.
And dropped out of college with 9 hours left to graduate. I was at Wichita State University. And
Your parents wanted to kill you.
Oh man, I still get crap to this day. So I actually went back 5 years ago and took 3 hours because it was getting to that mark where I was, I think, 10 years out or something like that. And 3 of the hours dropped out, so I didn't have to take those. So then I was down to 6. Then I took 3 hours, and then I realized the last 3 hours were going to take a lot of time and energy, and I still haven't done it. So I'm 3 hours away.
I'll make you a little piece of paper that says you graduated, because that's
Thank
about
you.
all it's going to be worth at this point in your life,
Yeah.
right?
I know. I was just gonna do it to do it, but just like a typical entrepreneur, I dive in there thinking I'm gonna do it, and then I skip off to something else. So
I get it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I get
we have a tendency to chase those shiny objects. That's one of the things about being here at CG. You always got to watch what you're doing. Everything sounds great. Stay in your lane.
Well, when we used to go to those masterminds, the CG mastermind, my president at the time and I would say, let's just take one thing from that meeting and just laser focus and implement it. Because like you said, man, we'd have like 3 or 4 pages of notes, and it's like, we're going to do one thing. That's it. In the next 3 months before the next meeting, we're just going to do one thing. And it did us pretty well.
That's the way to do it.
Well, it is amazing that if you do it in a consistent manner, those 3 months go by pretty quickly anyway.
Oh yeah.
Bill, you have a question over here about what is CG Mastermind. So do a quick synopsis so we can get into the meat of Tony.
Okay, sorry. I'm over here on the private chat, so I didn't see your question, Steve. I apologize. So CG stands for Collective Genius. It is a mastermind of fairly high level real estate investors. I say fairly because we're in the group. And I think we were just grandfathered in for some reason, but it's a wonderful group. There's it's a community. It's your board of directors. When you're in business for yourself, you can't do it by yourself. You need others, especially people that are outside of your business to tell you, yes, you should do that. No, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
And that are way smarter than we are too. That helps.
But everybody adds to the group. Even the newest people that come in, the real young guys. It's funny, they'll come in and they'll show us all kind of stuff that, what, you're doing that? Here, come over and show me that. It's just a great community. I hope I answered that question properly.
Awesome. So what's really neat, that all the things that you're doing on TV, Bill and Jonathan and I we now have a little over a year of constant live streaming, and we've been really consistent about what we're doing here on the live stream. And for Bill and I as old folks, it's kind of hard for us to get into all this social stuff, but boy, is it paying off. It's amazing how it's paying off. And we'd love to do more. And you're talking about doing commercials and stuff. I really want to hear about what you're doing TV wise. That's kind of unheard of these days for people to advertise on TV. Tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, so I get that a lot. When I talk about TV, people say, I've never heard of anybody doing TV for real estate. And it's a wide open lane right now. I've been doing it for 9 years. So the way that I got started is I went to a poker game with a friend of mine, or had a friend of mine, and I saw this guy at the table, and I'm like, oh crap, I've seen that guy on TV, like just kind of that celebrity status, like, I've seen him on TV kind of thing. And just start talking to him, normal guy. He was a contractor, and I asked him how his TV commercials were doing. He's like, I'm totally crushing it with TV. And I said, well, that's cool. And he started telling me the numbers. He was doing like $2 million a year, and most of that from TV. And he's like, you need to talk to my media guy. If you're doing real estate, you ought to get on TV and see if it works for you. And so I'm like, okay. So I get in touch with a media buyer. I had no idea how to do TV, how to get on TV, how to, so the media buyer talked to me all through how to, put a script together, shoot the commercial. He went and bought the media for me, negotiated the rates, all that kind of stuff. Within 30 days, I was on the air. First month, I spent $3,000 and made $35,000 first month.
Wow!
And I was hooked. And I'm like, man, this is great. Like, and so fast forward to today, I've been doing it for 9 years. It's built a ton of credibility for me, ton of credibility for my business. Helped me raise private money. It helps my other forms of marketing because people see you on TV, and it's that celebrity status and the credibility. Because if you think about all the brands that you see, the big brands, right? A lot of them are on TV, and a lot of them became big brands because of TV. And people just, when they see you on TV, there's just that different trust factor. There's that different credibility factor. People will get 10 postcards and call us, and they say, we called you and you only because we know who you are. We don't know who these other guys are, right? And so yeah, it's been great. It's very automated. There's very little, if any, competition. Most markets, there's nobody doing TV. And now we're helping people throughout the United States in different markets, helping them implement TV and get the same results that we're getting. Last year, we did 11.2x return on our money through TV. And I did it working on TV 3 hours, right? My team, worked all the leads and all that kind of stuff. But just from the marketing itself, I spent 3 hours on that marketing, whereas there's some marketing channels you spend 3 hours a day on, texting, cold calling, and all that kind of stuff. So it's been great for me. And I had someone that said, you know what, the real estate investment community needs something like this. So I launched a program, and now I'm helping other people implement TV in their markets and getting really good results.
That's awesome. So are you searching for houses to buy on the TV ads? Are you so what's your target on there? What does the content look like, and what's your call to action?
Yeah, it's similar to direct mail and all the other messages, right? It's we'll buy your house as is for cash. Ours is no fees, no commissions, no hassle, no repairs, as is, So we are looking for motivated sellers. And you would think that being on TV would be too broad of a reach. But, we can reach, direct mail, you can reach 1,000 people for about $40. For 1,000 people, we can reach 1,000 people for about $5, right?
Wow.
So then we can just, it is kind of, it can be somewhat of a shotgun approach, but with the way that I've tested and tracked and tweaked things, it's helped us to basically figure out what channels are working, what shows we need to be on, so we don't spend so much money, and that's the formula that I'm giving to people. So yeah, it's finding motivated sellers, just like you would with all the other marketing methods that are out there.
Wow. So you're I'm sure you're tracking the content. Are you also tracking time slots and what you're being played after or during, and channels?
Yeah, we've tweaked the schedule for 9 years, right? We'll add these stations and shows, and we'll take these away, and then we'll spend money on this. If it's not producing anymore, we'll take that away. So we've done a lot in the last 9 years to figure out what's worked, what hasn't. I think that's why we've gotten 11x return. I have 8 variations of commercials that have worked well. I've probably done at least 12 total. So I've had like 4 or 5 that have not done very well. And so I share that with my people, like, hey, I animated too much, or I did something in a commercial and just completely tanked our results. Right. And then I put the other commercial back on, and then it would, do well again. So it's just like those little things that we've done throughout the last 9 years. We love sharing with our people, and yeah, it's tracking everything we're doing, and figuring out what works and what doesn't.
That's cool.
So are you doing shows like an infomercial, or are you just doing commercials?
Yeah, just a 30-second commercial. We've done, so you mentioned radio. We've tried radio. It hasn't worked real well for us. We used to do an info spot on radio, and it was probably a little bit more for branding, right? So TV, you would think, would just be just for branding, but it's not only branding, but it's also driving. I mean, people like my people, that, because we help them implement the commercials too. We will buy the media. My same media guy will help the people that I'm helping buy the media. And people email us and say, did this go live today? And we're like, yeah, why? Well, we got 3 leads this morning, right? So, I mean, we're getting like instant results off of our commercials. But yeah, they're 30-second commercials, short, sweet, to the point, and have a great call to action that, if you've been thinking of selling your home, give us a call and we'll give you a free cash offer.
I love it. I mean, it's like that, like we talk about that return on effort. Like, you're hitting lists, you're calling people, you're cold calling. I mean, there's a lot of effort that goes into that for usually not a whole lot of reward. You're doing a lot less effort, and you're cutting out all of the, trying to track people down. They're tracking you down. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I call it return on time. People talk on return on investment. For me, I love return on time. If I can put an hour into something and get an exponential return, whereas if I'm spending, 8 hours a day, and even if I'm still getting a decent result in, 8 hours a day, that's still a lot of time you're putting into something. So, so yeah, it's very automated. I've actually ran the same commercial, I think, like 14 months in a row without changing it, and still got good results. And the only reason I changed it, I'm like, people are probably getting bored with this. So I just, put some, started shooting some more commercials and doing some different things. So, but yeah, super automated.
Excuse me. Well, I mean, you're absolutely correct about the credibility, and people think they know you. We had a local HVAC company in our market, and they were always advertising on the Carolina Panthers football games. And they had this goofy guy doing the commercial. His name was Bobby, and he was a technician. And people were ticked off if Bobby didn't show up to their house when they called this local HVAC company to come and give them an estimate on new stuff. So it's pretty interesting how you do get that kind of celebrity status thing going. Are you shooting any of these commercials on the streaming side of the broadcast, or is it strictly over-the-air broadcast?
Yeah, it's local stations. So over the air, anything that's local, we hit the local stations. So like, YouTube TV has local stations, Cox Communications. I think even Hulu has local channels now, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not a Hulu guys, but I'm pretty sure they do. So a lot of the streaming, programs have the local stations. So we stay on those local stations to make sure that we hit those people and hit a broader audience. Is
there any particular time of the day that seems to work best?
Man, you're getting in my program already, Bill.
All right, sorry.
This is my program now. No, I'm an open book. I'll share. So yeah, we do a lot of daytime stuff. We do daytime stuff. We do. You can get really inexpensive, and that's the cool thing is our audience is different than a lot of people's audiences. So we can get cheaper commercials during the day because
Right.
I don't know this for a fact, but I'm assuming that because people are either lost their job or there's something that's their home during the day watching TV, right? Maybe they're third shift workers and, they're blue collar, right? Because we cater to a blue collar community. And if someone is having a financial situation or if they're having major repairs on their house and they can't afford it, they may be up at night, right? So we hit a lot of late night spots as well that are, $1 to $5, right? So like I said, we've tweaked and tracked many different things, but daytime stations, the Jerry Springers do well. I'll give you that tip. Jerry Springer does well for us.
Throw a chair and buy a house.
Totally. Yeah.
So you keep saying inexpensive, and I can't help but, you hear TV commercials and you're thinking, wow, you are putting out some serious dollars to make that happen. So what's an average per month that you're spending on a commercial?
Yeah. So for us, it's very market dependent. So people say, what does it cost for TV commercials? It totally depends on the market. It depends on how many stations you want to be on. It depends on how hard you want to hit it. Like, so for instance, I've got one person that I advise him to spend at least $4,000 a month, and they needed to be on at least 2 or 3 stations. He said, well, let me spend $1,850 because he was spending $1,850 somewhere else. He's like, I just want to compare side to side what the returns are. So he spent $1,850. I think he was only maybe on 1 station, and he did $30,000 his first month, right?
$1,850.
$1,850. He did $30,000 on 2 deals his first month.
Wow.
So that's on the low end. I don't advise anybody spending that little because when you come out of the gate, you got to, you need to hit as many people as possible, right? So for me, I spent $3,000 my first month, made $35,000. And right now we're spending between $5,000 and $7,000 a month. I've actually gone up to 12 in my market just to test it. I just threw this big budget out there just to see if we doubled our budget, if we double our return, and it tanked, right? We didn't do much more with a $12,000 budget than a $6,000 budget. So those are a lot of things that, like I said, I teach people and go through. But yeah, for Wichita, Kansas, which is about 400,000 people, if you look at the surrounding areas that it hits, we actually probably hit closer to 800,000 people. We spent about $5,000 a month gets us a good reach and a good return.
Well, that's less than direct mail.
It can be. Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, direct mail, you're a little more targeted, but you're spending more money. And then direct mail doesn't brand, right? Like if someone gets a piece of direct mail, they throw it away. They probably forget who you are.
That's
TV,
right.
if they see you, even if they don't call you, they'll hopefully remember you in a month or 6 months or 12 months down the road when they're looking to sell.
Yeah. Most people are visual anyway. So
Yeah, it's hard to see your smiling face when it's in a garbage can.
You're exactly right.
So tell us about your program. You've mentioned it a couple times. I want to hear what is it? How long is it? How can people find out about it?
Yeah, so you guys put it on there, realestatemasters.tv.com. It's a great program. I just deep dive into everything that I know about TV. I've kind of mentioned some of it, like what stations have worked for us, what shows have worked for us, how to shoot the commercial. It just dives into everything. What's worked, what hasn't worked. There's different things that I've tried in different commercials that have done really well and some that have tanked. So I go through all that with my students. And then on top of that, you know how it is. People buy courses, they buy programs, and they just don't use them, right? They just get too busy or, that kind of thing. So we actually do a lot of the work for you. So we'll actually use my media guy. We'll negotiate rates for you. We'll use my schedules that have done really well for me, go to the local stations in those areas, negotiate really good rates. Because he's a media buyer, they answer to him faster. He gets better rates. He totally streamlines the process. Within about a week, he can get a really good schedule together for somebody. And then he also has a production team. So the same production team that's produced my commercials and many other people throughout the country, he'll produce a commercial for you as well. And the only thing that anybody has to do is if they want to be in the commercial, which I highly recommend them being in the commercial for credibility, they go shoot the commercial. We pretty much do the rest for them. All they have to do is answer the phone and start doing deals. So, so yeah, and we only sell so many spots per market. So we're actually selling out quite a few markets right now. And so if anybody wants to see if their market's open, they can go to realestatemasterstv.com.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It is, and I hate to do this, but and time flies when we're having such a wonderful time. But we've reached the bottom of the hour. I mean, it really did fly by.
It did. Yeah.
It's great stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely great content. I'm a little ticked off that I spent so much time bantering about the bathroom behind me.
He does that a lot.
Tony, that was awesome content. Thank you so much, folks. Thanks again for joining us on the Passive Wealth Show. Tony's information is over in the chat, so click it on and get there. We are Carolina Capital Management. We make loans in the Southeast to real estate investors. If you're a borrower interested in borrowing money, just go to the Apply Now tab at carolinahardmoney.com. And if you're a passive investor, click on the Accredited Investor tab. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and all that good stuff. Our next show is linked here in the chat as well. That'll be coming up. We're a minute late already, but we'll be there, I promise. We're going to answer some ugly questions. Have a great day, y'all.
Thanks.